waiting for a Halloween story, huh? Ha! Well, listen to me as I share one with you if you don't know who I am. You will at the end of this story. Well, once upon a time, there were two brothers, one named Alan and one named Peter, and they loved to tease their little brother, Andy. One day, when Alan and Peter came home from school, they found Andy watching a movie called Killer Plans from Outer Space. Aliens. I love aliens. Oh, okay. Get back to the story. The movie started fairly nicely in a beautiful city park, but as night fell, large seed pods began to drop from the sky. By morning, the pods had sprouted and were growing quickly. Wow, said the boys. This looks cool. And they loved it, and they sat in front of the TV with Andy. Soon, the plants from outer space were 8 feet tall, and their enormous leaves continued to grow. Andy was beginning to look a bit nervous. Of course he would. As they watched, a man entered the park, pushing a hot dog cart. Andy cried, No, don't go into the park! Just then, a giant plant grabbed the man and devoured him whole. I could do that to little Andy as well. Anyway, Andy was terrified. He ran upstairs like all little children do and jumped into his bed under his covers and hid there. Alan and Peter, those naughty boys. Well, they doubled over laughing at this little one, and then they giggled and they said, Help! Help! The big plant is going to get me! Help! Now that night during dinner, Andy kept looking suspiciously at the large plant in their dining room. Do you have one in yours? Better beware. And when it was bedtime, he couldn't sleep. Every time he shut his eyes, all he could see was the monster plant smacking its leafy lips. Meanwhile, his brothers were laughing. They had a plan, a wicked one. Well, I love it. When their mom heard them giggling, she said, What are you boys up to? No, nothing, they said. Their voice grew quieter as they planned what they were going to do to their brother. Tomorrow, let's cut a few big leaves from the banana tree. Then we can hide in the bushes. Great idea, said Alan with a devilish laugh. As soon as Andy comes outside, we will chase him around. He will be screaming his little head off. The next day after school, they couldn't wait to put their plan into action. Alan and Peter quietly made their way back to the porch. Alan took out his official Boy Scout pocket knife and he sliced the big leaves from the banana tree, and they crept up into the porch, hid behind a bush, and waited. Suddenly, they heard a rustling in a nearby bush. What's that? Asked Peter, nervously. The rustling grew louder. The boys tried to see through the jungle leaves, but suddenly an enormous hairy gorilla bounced through the bushes. The gorilla beat its chest, showed its sharp teeth, and went. Alan and Peter were petrified. They hid behind the bush, and they were unable to move. and the gorilla began to plod towards them. They screamed for help. Mom! 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 Just then, Gorilla started to chuckle and then broke into a thunderous laugh. Alan and Peter held their breath, raised their arms, and removed the gorilla's head. It was nobody else. It was just me sharing this story with you. I am Alan and Peter's mom. Well, I grinned as broad as I could, and then I told them, well, I heard you both cooking up a practical joke. I decided that it's time for you to have a taste of your own medicine, and an old Halloween costume would always come in handy for something like this. Happy Halloween, everybody! Hope you enjoyed the story!